much. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii. She's a member of both the Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Let me get your thoughts right away on these new sanctions that the administration is imposing on Russia for their involvement in the poisoning of this ex-spy and his daughter on British soil. Do these sanctions send the right message?
It certainly does, but it's not as though the administration had a choice about imposing these sanctions because, as noted, there's a 1991 law that requires, once a determination is made that a country has used chemical or biological weapons against people, that these sanctions must occur. So, as usual, the Trump administration drags its feet, but they did not have a choice. Obviously, they needed prompting from members of Congress in order to do what they're supposed to do. And
they got that from the Republican chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Ed Royce. He was squeezing them with that letter at the end of July. They finally acted. Now, let's turn to another sensitive issue, Senator. The negotiations ongoing right now between the special counsel, Robert Mueller, and the president's legal team over a possible interview with President Trump. Should Mueller accept Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer? Should Mueller accept Giuliani's latest terms?
Whatever the terms are, they try to protect the president as much as possible, so I don't see why Mueller should accept these kinds of conditions and limitations. These negotiations have been going on for months and months. One wonders whether the Trump team is really negotiating in good faith, and at some point I think that Mueller has to decide whether to issue a subpoena, and we all know that a president can be subpoenaed.
Do you think that Mueller really needs the president's testimony as part of his investigation?
I think that Mueller is conducting his investigation in such a professional and objective way that if he needs the president to testify under oath, then I think that he will proceed to do that. If not, then if he can make the case without the president's testimony, then I think he will do so. I think for all of us, we'd like to have the president testify. I can understand why his team doesn't want him to testify, because they can never be assured that the president, even under oath, will be telling the truth.
At what point should Mueller call off the negotiations and start working on a subpoena to the president?
For all we know, he may be doing a dual kind of a thing, that as he continues to negotiate, and at some point when they decide that it's just not happening and the negotiations are not occurring in good faith, he may already have. If I understand how Mueller operates, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they already have a subpoena prepared, ready to go.
Let me get your thoughts on one other issue. You're a member of the Veterans Affairs Committees. There's a stunning new report from ProPublica about the Department of Veterans Affairs. And according to documents obtained by ProPublica, an unelected informal council of President Trump's friends has exerted sweeping influence over the VA, using the president's private Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida, as their home base. Let me read a portion of this report. The Mar-a-Lago crowd spoke with VA officials daily. The documents show, reviewing all manner of policy and personnel decisions. They prodded the VA to start new programs, and officials traveled to Mar-a-Lago at taxpayer expense to hear their views. Everyone has to go down and kiss the ring, a former administration official said. So if the bureaucracy resists the trio's wishes, Perlmutter and others involved in this informal group supposedly have a powerful ally, the President of the United States. You serve on that Veterans Affairs Committee, as I said. Were you aware of this arrangement?
Of course not, and this is yet another astounding revelation that President Trump does not abide by any kind of ethical limitations, and I find it astounding for an agency that is there to serve the needs and provide the programs so that our veterans have earned and deserve. It is just astounding to me that this group of totally unaccountable, unelected, and behind-the-scenes people can exert this kind of influence. But They obviously have the protection of the president. And this is why the president is not above the law, but he certainly acts as though he is. So I would hope that the Veterans Affairs Committee, on which I sit, will conduct some hearings. I'd like for that to happen so we can find out exactly what kind of influence is being exerted by these people who are accountable to nobody.
Hey, Senator, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.